along from Inner Circle, and with me are Carlton and Ian. Hi guys. Now, what I wanted to ask you is, you're originally from Jamaica, but you're both living in America, but we're now in Sweden. How did you come about coming here?
On tour. The song is #1 for quite a few weeks. I think it's now #2. And we want to put it back up to #1, let it stay there.
Right. So, is the reggae music scene in Sweden growing? Is there a great interest for it? Is there a big following?
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, thousands and thousands of people. Yes.
And you're touring at the moment. What are the audiences going to see? What can they expect?
Our show is a very high energy style of show, you know. A lot of involvement with the crowd, because we find here in Sweden there's a lot of young kids that really like our music, you know. Because Bad Boys was actually the first hit that we had here, so you know, they really get involved. So we like to structure the show, you know, with them in mind, you know. You know, new styles of reggae, as we call it.
Great. Well, here's the in-town guide. The guys will be at Amsterdam's Melkweg on September the 17th. Then on the 18th they gig at Groningen's Huizenmaas. The venue on the 19th is Den Haag's Paard, whilst on the 20th Inner Circle will be in action at Arnhem's Luxor. The venue on the 23rd is Paris's New Morning Club. Then on the 25th they're at Bern's Quelle. You can then see the Sweat at Lausanne's Dolce Vita on the 26th. On September the 27th, they'll be at the Electric Ballroom in Zurich. Now, you've been in the music business and touring on the road for the last 17 years. Are you still enjoying it?
Enjoying it more than ever. More than ever.
Yeah.
Well, the road is like an addiction, you know, because the more success you get is the more you want to, you know, because the audiences increase, so you more want to play, you know, and as we say, when it's not fun anymore, then, you know, we'll stop, but, you know, it's fun right now, so, you know.
The response is always going to be different every show you do.
Oh yes, definitely.
Are you thinking of playing in Jamaica?
Yeah, well, in February there's a big festival in Negril, which is a resort part of Jamaica, because, you know, every year there's the Reggae Sunsplash from August, but this is a different type of show they're trying to bring in outside people. Well, it's spring break time, so they're going to get a lot of spring breakers from the US and the Jamaican people. It's like a cultural thing they're trying in a resort area of Jamaica. That's in February.
Do you find that the audiences in Europe are more and more receptive to reggae now? Is it in the increase?
Well, reggae has always been a very strong underground force in Europe. You know, it's just that I think on the bigger record company level, it's not as been since Island Records, which was like the premier reggae label, you know, from the 60s, 70s with Millie Small, the very first hit from going from ska through to reggae music, and I think they have kind of, you know, locked off a little bit on it. But now there's groups coming up. There's us, there's Shabba Ranks, there's other new styles of reggae that's coming through, you know, from the underground, that's breaking across on the charts in Europe.
So lastly, you see a very big future for reggae. It's on the rise again.
Oh yes, our audience last night was screaming, fainting, and being arrested.
Throwing their knickers in the air.
I don't want to mention what they threw on the stage.
Well, thanks very much. We now go over to our London studio for a news update.
Metallica have rejoined the Guns N' Roses tour with
I'm touring in Florida, you know, and I had written this song called Fat Bottom Girls a long time ago, and somebody had played the tape for him, so, you know, he called me up and he said, you know, he'd be very interested in you know, if I could, you know, help him with the song, because he likes it very much. So it was like a quick collaboration, you know. We did it like in about 7 hours in the studio, you know, which it was a pleasure and an honor to me, because he was really an R&B soul legend, and working, you know, from my reggae background with his background, you know. I'm just sorry that, you know, he died like 2 years afterwards, you know. Because the song was just about to get like a major release on it, you know.
You're also very well known for covering lots of songs that aren't quite unusual for a reggae band to do, like the one that you've covered on your latest album, Neil Young's Down by the River. What's the choice? What's the reason behind that choice?
I love that song. I love that song. I've been loving that song ever since I heard it. And every time we're sound checking, I'm always singing it. So we decided to record it.
Good choice. Who are your influences, apart from people like Neil Young? Who do you listen to?
I listen to the late Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, Marvin Gaye, Smokey Robinson, Temptations, and on and on and on.
Ian?
Well, I'm influenced basically by a lot of jazz. I like Stanley Clarke, you know, the older jazz, not the real hardcore avant-garde, but the kind of melodic jazz, because I think melodies are like the wind, you know, it influences, it's haunting, it's, you know, it's magical, and that's the kind of way I like to hear music. So my influences, I think, basically drawn from jazz, you know, a lot of jazz.
One last thing, what would you like to see on MTV? A request from both of you.
My favorite video by En Vogue, giving him something he can feel. That's what I want to hear.
That couldn't be a better introduction. Thanks a lot, boys.
Thank you.
En Vogue.
We have to get there, right? So that means you have to follow this one, which means
The ventral stretch all the way. No problem. We fine.
Inner Circle en Countdown on the Road. Ze weten waar opgetreden moet worden, maar hoe er te komen zijn we nog niet helemaal achter. Straks praten we in Countdown on the Road met R.E.M.